Okay, so have you ever been on a team where everything just clicks? People trust each other, they work together, and they do amazing things. But then you've seen the other side, right? Teams that are just full of backstabbing and self-interest. Well, Simon Sinek has a really powerful answer for why that happens. And believe it or not, it all comes down to our own biology.
So this whole idea kicks off with a simple story from the U.S. Marine Corps. In the chow line, the most junior Marines get their food first, and the senior officers, they eat last. And nobody has to order them to do it, it's just the culture. Now, this isn't just about food, of course. It's a symbol of something much deeper. It shows you the real price of leadership. It's not about being in charge, it's about taking care of the people in your charge.
And for this explainer, we're diving straight into Simon Sinek's amazing book, Leaders Eat Last, to really get to the bottom of why this works so well. Because this isn't just some nice-to-have management theory. It's literally how our bodies are wired to perform at our absolute best. Yeah, that one small act of eating last, it tells you everything you need to know about the environment a leader creates. Is it a place where you feel protected, where you feel valued, where you can actually do your best work? Or is it a place where you feel like you have to protect yourself from the people around you? That feeling of safety, or the lack of it, really does change everything. And that brings us to Sinek's huge idea, the thing this whole book is built around. He calls it the circle of safety. It's a really simple but powerful way to understand why some teams win and others just don't. So I want you to picture your company or your team as a circle. Now, outside that circle are all the dangers. You've got the competition, a shaky economy, new technology, all the stuff that's constantly changing and that you can't really control. The leader's number one job is to make the circle so strong that everyone inside feels safe from all that chaos out there. And just as important, they feel safe from each other.
And when that circle is strong, when people feel like they belong and they're protected, well, they stop wasting all their time and energy on office politics and watching their back. All of that brain power can suddenly be focused outward, on looking for opportunities and fighting off the real threats, together as a team.
I mean, just look at the difference here. This is the world a leader creates. Inside a strong circle of safety, what do you get? Trust, real cooperation. People feel free to innovate because they're not scared of making a mistake. But when that circle is weak, oh man, you get paranoia, cynicism, it's every person for themselves. So which of those two worlds would you rather spend 8 hours a day in?
Okay, now this is where it gets really fascinating. Sinek argues that these feelings, trust, safety, cooperation, they're not just fuzzy ideas. Nope. They are the direct result of 4 specific chemicals buzzing around in our brains. They're biological incentives that evolved over thousands of years to help us survive. Let's break them down. So these are what we can call our happy chemicals. You've got endorphins and dopamine, which are all about you, your individual drive and hitting your goals. And then you have serotonin and oxytocin, which are all about us, connection, collaboration, and trust. Our bodies basically give us a little treat of these chemicals to get us to do things that are good for us and good for the group.
Think of it this way. The selfish chemicals, endorphins and dopamine, are what helped our ancestors go out and hunt. They give you that short-term rush when you hit a target or, cross something off your to-do list. But the selfless chemicals, serotonin and oxytocin, they're what helped us work together as a tribe to build trust and look out for one another. They give us that deep, lasting sense of fulfillment. And dopamine, it's really powerful. It's the reason we get addicted to checking our phones for notifications. Every little like or email gives us a tiny hit. A lot of modern companies are built entirely around dangling these little dopamine rewards in front of us. Bonuses, sales targets, that kind of thing. But here's the problem. It's all short-term, and it does absolutely nothing to build loyalty or trust. Now, serotonin, this is the leadership chemical. It's that feeling of pride you get when your team wins, or when your boss pulls you aside and says, "Hey, great job, we're proud of you." It reinforces that bond between a leader and a follower. We want to work hard for leaders who make us feel valued, and in return, those leaders feel a real sense of responsibility to us. It's a huge piece of the circle of safety puzzle. And then you have oxytocin. This is the big one. This is the chemical of deep, genuine trust and friendship. It gets released through things like acts of kindness or even just a simple handshake. Oxytocin is the reason you'll stay late to help a coworker you care about. It is the chemical glue that holds a great team together. So, we've got these 4 incredible chemicals designed to help us work together and achieve great things. But there's another chemical, a sort of villain in our story, that can come in and sabotage the whole system when the environment feels threatening.
Everybody, meet cortisol. This is your body's alarm system.
the fight or flight chemical. It floods your system when you feel danger. And here's the crazy part. Our brains can't tell the difference between a lion on the savannah and a boss who might lay us off. And when cortisol shows up, it physically shuts down the production of oxytocin. It makes us more selfish, less empathetic, right when we need to trust each other the most. So a toxic workplace? It's literally feeding its employees a steady diet of stress.
So when you put all this biology together, the real job of a leader becomes crystal clear. It has almost nothing to do with hitting targets and managing spreadsheets. It has everything to do with managing the chemical balance in the organization by creating safety.
Sinek frames this in a way that it hits you right in the chest. It's a profound human responsibility, not just an economic one. When you start thinking of your employees as someone's child, the idea of sacrificing them to make the numbers, it just becomes unthinkable. When you become a leader, you are accepting responsibility for these precious lives.
So, what does this actually look like day to day? Well, it means you're careful about who you let into your circle. It means you protect your people from blame games and internal politics. It means making sure that circle of safety covers everyone, not just your favorites. And it all comes back to that first lesson from the Marines, choosing to put the well-being of your people ahead of your own comfort and perks.
And this is the bottom line, really. You can't just send out a memo that says, "Okay, everyone, trust each other now." Trust isn't an item on a checklist. It is a biological reaction. It's that feeling we get, that little rush of oxytocin and serotonin when we see our leaders consistently, day after day, acting in our best interest. It has to be earned. And that leaves us with a really powerful final thought. Most of us don't get to choose our leaders, but all of us get to choose to lead. By taking care of the person to your left and the person to your right, you start building a stronger circle, right where you are. So this question isn't just for the CEOs out there. It's for every single one of us. What choice are you going to make?